right, now the story of the day, people. Brittany Griner. They've made the worst. I say politically, militarily, national security, credibility. They've made the worst trade they can possibly have ever made. And you know that it's bad because the most bluest of check marks, these Democrat liars of Paul. And by the way, I shouldn't even say Democrat because Kinzinger's out there, Adam Kinzinger, touting the success of having negotiated the release of an innocent person, but they didn't do enough. They didn't get an actual innocent person, a member of the Navy who's been held up, and I didn't know about this, who they were trying to get released under the same terms. But I guess Putin negotiates better than Biden. Putin got the release of perhaps one of the most notorious arms dealers in the history of the world, and Biden got a petty criminal who, might be more political. He'll be able to make some political goodwill with her locally because she's black and lesbian, and so he'll be able to say this is a success for equal rights. I guess in a way she becomes even more valuable because of identity politics and not because of the overarching injustice of the sentence she got for actually breaking the law. But an arms dealer for a petty criminal, and Biden thinks it's success. It's an absolute embarrassment. Okay. Let's get an article. Oh, this was the article. Okay, so we saw that. Let's get that out of here. Yeah, the takes on Twitter are just amazing. Oh, let's take Adam Kinzinger's take. Adam Kinzinger. What about the retired Marine who has been unjustly detained for years? Paul Whelan. Surely an arms dealer is worth two innocent people. Like they think they're playing fantasy football or something. Hey, Putin, I'll give you two of my upper deck rookie cards. What's his name? Oh, geez, what's his name? It was the best rookie card ever. I can't remember. It'll come to me in a second. Carl. It was Carl. I'll give you two Carl rookie cards for this guy. But what I love baked into this, two innocent people. Let's not lie, Kinzinger. You don't have to lie to make a point. I have been pretty vocal from the day of her conviction that 9 years for that offense is unjust. It's excessive. It's punitive, but I guess that's kind of the point of sentencing. From day one of that conviction, I said that is an excessive sentence for her crime. Some people were hypothesizing. She was found guilty of having brought in vape cartridges containing THC. Some people are spreading I believe it's misinformation. It's misinformation by suggestion that, let me take this out, that it was medical. It was for medical purposes. I haven't been able to verify that or confirm that what she was found guilty of having smuggled into Russia, albeit according to her accidentally, I didn't know it was in my bag, I didn't know it was illegal, whatever. I haven't been able to find any confirmation anywhere that it was in fact medicinal, what she had on her at the time of her arrest. I have heard her lawyers vaguely allude to the fact that she had a medical permit in Arizona. I forget which state. I've heard her lawyers say that. They say, oh, she had medical marijuana or she had medical authorization so that people can maybe come to the deduction, the willful deduction that what she had to have brought into Russia was medical, and it's even more of an injustice. I've heard it. I have not seen any evidence to that effect. Maybe I'm wrong and maybe it's out there, but I don't know. I have also heard or read in certain sources that I can neither confirm nor deny that she brought enough in and was potentially brought it in to distribute it to other basketball players. I can't verify either of those. Set them aside. She pleaded guilty. She broke Russian law. But I mean, watch not Midnight Run, that the movie where Locked Up Abroad it was based on. She broke the law of a foreign country where people think it's being run by a Hitler-like dictator, an authoritarian regime. She went into that authoritarian regime to play basketball and got arrested. Pleaded guilty, admitted to it because she did it. The issue was the penalty. Nobody needs to lie to pretend that she was innocent. She wasn't innocent. She was guilty. The only question is, what is a humane, justified penalty? 9 years seems cruel and unusual to me. But and I've been saying it from day one. Adam Kinzinger's a liar. End of story. That's it. Innocent. What about Whalen? Why could they not get out their own political prisoner? As opposed to, I would not call Brittany Griner a political prisoner. I'd call her a prisoner. You know why, Kinzinger? First of all, she's not innocent. Whalen might very well be. I don't know that story. You know why he didn't get 2 for 1? Or even an equal trade? Because he got exploited by Putin because he's a weak leader, an incompetent leader, a buffoon. And he just sacrificed national and international security for some cheap political gain because he gets to say, and they will say it because they've been saying it from day one because they cannot see individuals as individuals. They can only see individuals as identity politics. He got off a black lesbian basketball player, so that's going to get him some political goodwill at home. And now one of the most notorious arms dealer of all times has been released to the world. Congratulations, Biden. But listen to this. What's this? Oh, that's okay. Listen to this. Cernovich, who some people are angry with right now because he's taken, I won't say an anti-Trump position, but he's become critical of Trump and supporters of Trump. He's getting a little hate online from people who still support Trump and still see Trump as the only viable candidate to fight against the New World Order. You may disagree with him on certain issues, but if you think he's not smart and insightful, you might be deluding yourself in order to justify your anger towards Biden. Before we get there, Brooklyn dad defiant. Brittany Griner is on her way home. Yes, another Biden win. I mean, you know that the decision is inversely bad compared to the excessive, irrational, jubilant celebration from blue check marks of a certain political persuasion. Brittany Griner is on her way home. Yes, another Biden win. That presupposes there were any previous wins, and it presupposes that this is a win. I would hypothesize Russia leveraging a petty criminal for the release of one of the most notorious arms dealer in history is not a win. It's a big, fat, flipping loss. It's an epic loss and a humiliation for the Biden administration. Putin really has to be laughing at the incompetence of the Biden regime. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah. He got, and it's not. She's a human. That's these are two humans. One just happens to be a convicted arms dealer. The other one happens to be a convicted petty drug importer. They're two humans. They are not equivalent on the scale of criminality. And to pretend that this is a massive victory is political spin for having actually destabilized the international community. And it's not an exaggeration to say that. Where is the Cernovich? Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Cernovich put out a tweet that said, effectively, it's almost as though Biden wants an arms dealer back out there. And I was like, yeah, there's a lot of new, and I replied, I said, yeah, there's a lot of new merch. There's a lot of new merchandise in certain parts of the world that might, have gone missing. There's a lot of new merchandise in the world that there might be a market for now. And so, maybe releasing a talented, skillful arms dealer into the world, given what we now know, despite having attempted to have been scrubbed from the internet. Does everyone remember this?
In the past 2 months, we've moved weapons and equipment to Ukraine at record speed. Drones, grenade launchers, machine guns.
We're seeing this incredible, historic flow of weapons coming into Ukraine. Do we have any sense as to where they're going?
We don't know. There is really no information as to where they're going at all.
All this stuff goes over the border, and then kind of like something happens, it kind of like
30%.
30% maybe reaches its final destination.
I think I misunderstood that the first time. 30% maybe reaches its final destination, meaning 70% does not. It's very curious. I mean, if you were actively trying to destabilize the world, make it less safe, and give, I don't know, give criminals a head start in this global context, what would you be doing differently? If you're trying to do that, but make it look like you weren't trying to do it on purpose, what would you be doing differently? It's almost like somebody wants an arms dealer out in the world. Just good timing, convenient.
30%? Are you concerned about weapons getting in the wrong hands?
I don't care at all whether that happens.
What sort of a unit do you command? Can't say. Okay.
You know, there are like power lords, oligarchs, political players.
Everybody remembers the punchline here. This was a CBS documentary that they prepared for a Sunday night. They pulled it and re-edited it. Much like, what's his name? Miguel Almaguer disappeared, literally disappeared from the internet after his Paul Pelosi expose report that apparently didn't meet journalistic standards because it might have actually told the truth. This too did not meet journalistic standards after having been shot, edited, put into a promotional video, and was pulled from the internet. The only problem is the internet's forever.
One of the biggest targets are convoys like this transporting weapons.
Потом мы в поезде мы ехали, только что въебались туда, прямо в поезд. И за деревьями. Потом парламент вез.
Europeans had come to believe that that project of integration had effectively meant the banishment of armed force. All of a sudden, not far from the borders of the EU, was the most significant war since World War II.
Very dramatic. Very dramatic. CBS reports. Watch now. Oh, you can't watch now.
In the past 2
Hold on,
months,
stop it,
we've
stop.
moved.
You can't watch it now because CBS pulled it. They pulled it from the interwebs. Let's see this. Is it? Oh, yeah, here we go. Here we go. CBS News. We removed a tweet promoting our recent documentary, Arming Ukraine, which quoted the founder of the nonprofit Blue Yellow, Jonas Oman's assessment in late April, that only around 30% of aid was reaching the front. By the way, it said aid here. In the documentary, it said weapons, you bloody liars. Hold on. I'll check that in a second. The new CBS reports documentary Arming Ukraine. Hold on, where's the follow-up? Since that time, Oman says delivery has improved. Additionally, the U.S. military has confirmed that Defense Attaché Brigadier General Garrick M. Harmon arrived in Kiev in August for arms control and monitoring. So you only had April to August of 30% of aid reaching its destination. Let me just make sure that I'm right. They said aid. 30% of the aid was reaching the destination. I'm pretty sure they said 30% of the weapons.
And equipment to Ukraine at record speed.
Do we have any sense?
We don't know to where
Stuff goes the border, and then kind of like something happens, it kind of like
at all.
you know, all this stuff goes the border, and then kind of like something happens, it kind of like
Going?
We don't know. There is really
Okay, so
no information.
there might have been some ambiguity where they're talking. We're seeing a historic flow of weapons.
A historic flow of weapons coming into Ukraine. Do we have any sense as to where they're going?
We don't know. There is really no information as to where they're going at all.
you know, all this stuff goes the border, and then kind of like something happens, it kind of like 30% maybe reaches its final destination.
I don't think they're talking about aid. I think in the context it's quite clear, but down below when they try to say, like 30% of it, when they're talking about aid, when it's not clear that they were talking about aid. Anyhow, they deleted it. We removed a tweet promoting our recent doc, which said 30% of the aid. That's not what it said, by the way. So you're misleading yet again. We removed it, and I said, don't worry, I saved it for you. Still there. Thank you for keeping receipts. By erasing history, as expected, it's probably safe to conclude that 90% is being resold by Ukraine oligarchs and 10% for the big guy. And now, as a result of Biden's skillful negotiations, the merchant of death is back out, but Brittany Griner is back home. Innocent Brittany Griner. And by the way, 9 years for drug smuggling. Some would call that excessive punishment, as I did from day one. You know what else I would call excessive punishment? 41 months for Jacob Angeli, the QAnon shaman, for his role in January 6th. That's 41 months after having been in jail for nearly a year. That's like 4.5 years. That's like 4.5 years in jail for a nonviolent offense. Guy Reffitt, nonviolent offense, although he had a firearm with him at the protest, 7 years. Oh, no. But Brittany Griner, 9 years for breaking the law by smuggling drugs into an authoritarian, totalitarian regime. That's an injustice. Go back to another authoritarian, totalitarian regime, your own bloody house. And you got a guy in a mask where, I don't know, there's an animal on it somewhere with a flagpole. 41 months after having spent close to a year in jail beforehand. Guy Reffitt. Oh, the seditious conspiracy guys, they're going to get 12 years. Oh, no, that's fine, though. That's terrible. That was insurrection. Brittany Griner only smuggled drugs into Russia. No, the injustice. Politics ruins everything, and it ruins people's abilities to think justly and fairly. I don't have to have a memory. I don't have to worry about being a hypocrite. I have the same standards, whether it's for Brittany Griner or for Rhodes or for Jacob Angeli or for Guy Reffitt. Other people, unfortunately, don't, with a capital D.